Hi. We're not that clouded, but welcome to the session of AOH project presentation and brainstorm. This session is short. We are lasting for only 30 minutes. And I'm Liu Wang. Arthur is there to help you with some brainstorm later on. We can pass the code of contact. Let's start with the AOH acronyms. AOH is stand for it's a short for asset operation handover. And across different places, different nations and different regions, we are starting to see different initiatives like Quebec Société Québec d'Infrastructure SQI, and Sweden Transportation Digital Asset Management Program, and we have like UK's initiative and Australia's initiative, and all those highlighted the need we need a structured modular approach to asset information deliverers. So let's talk about challenges and solutions we are facing. Challenges, clearly we have a lack of machine interpretable ways and methods to express asset operation handover requirements, and we lack of flexible and scalable approach. Some of project or government agency we are facing quality and inconsistency of asset data at handover, and lots of places we are limited in the experience of knowledge, how to we use, expand, or change, modify our information requirements for using in our localized environment. And the solution you already heard. So basically, we want to use IDS, which is modular, customizable IDS, which help to it's a reusable information requirements, give us a quality and the consistency of assets, data, and handover, and for sure we need to create guidelines and recommendations for best practices. So yeah, the working package of this project is basically using IDS, using the standard of IDS, creating modular IDS files. So the first working package will be creating set of IDS module examples, and alongside the second one will be writing some guidelines and best practice documentation. And the scope of the work we're trying to do is, firstly, we need to maybe gathering some different IFC files. We try to figure out, find and filter out what different two IFC validate and qualified IFC files, one for building, one for infrastructure. And those IFC files will be using for testing and develop the further IDS files. The development and testing of IDS file will be minimal at 3. One common module which could be applied for building sector, and one for specialized for building, another one for infrastructure domain. Also, we want to create some guidelines, like how we use this, how we modify our IDS, how we can adapt it in our own environment, our own country or context. With the documentation of lessons learned, how we could be some best practices. Some BSDD example can be part of the guideline, and we'll make sure engage the software vendor providers to test and validate the example modules. And what's to mention, there is also some of things is not included in this project. The first is we are not trying to harmonize different requirements, AOH asset operations handover requirements from different nation, different country. It's hard to harmonize this information requirement from multiple stakeholders. We're not trying to develop any new IFC schema extensions, neither new version of IDS. All official BSDD entries. We're not doing certification and endorsement of the example IDS files as standardized and all normative deliverables. We're not creating tools. We're not creating developed softwares for supporting automate IDS use. Sorry for the confusing IDS use. Or we are not developing tools to map back to proprietary system or regional regulations system. And the approach will be quite easy. For example, we have 3 major steps. Let me roll it out at once. We started with preparation part. The preparation, we need 2 nice and qualified IFC files. And based on those, we are one for building model and one for infrastructure for testing and development IDS file modules. When we, after the preparation part, we are starting with development. So the step 1 is to development out of example IDS modules. That means we have to create IDS files, which is extendable and reusable, and which could be interpretable by compliant softwares. And when we have our IDS modules, we are starting to test our IDS modules against the IFC models. Check the IDS with the IFC module, and we capture the report. If we saw some feedback, some things need to improvement, something need to change, we'll update it. So basically, we will in a loop of step 1 and step 2, and all along the site, we are creating guidelines and documentations for the community. Confusing. And yeah, when we're talking about modules, basically we want to have one shared module, could be called base module or core module, which could be used in infrastructure or building, and which may involve different aspects, different area of the operations and asset operations handover module. So like maybe we got some ideas like operations, space management, equipment maintenance, but yeah, you got the idea is to just having this kind of modularized base framework to build up and compose our requirements. But just for mention, this is just an idea, the detailed aspect of this project, which aspect is not defined yet. We'll define it with the community, with your help and your feedback. Considering the deliverables, the first big part of deliverables will be the IDS files. So it may cover minimal 3 tested IDS modules, 1 for baseline common module, 1 for building module, 1 for infrastructure. We may not just 3 because we may extend to different ISA to cover different ISA versions, but as long we want to have some IDS test and report. This is a big part of the project. And the second working package is to create the guidance and documentation publications. We'll have IDS modules for AOH usage guides and some recommendations, best practices for this modular approach of AOH application, which will be shared with the community. And we have a brief current timeline of this project, which we are at the Berlin Summit. We present the idea, and we want to have your feedback, input. The idea is we started this project in the next year, and we prepare the IFC modules, IDS, starting with development of IDS modules, and test it. Then we keep looping until we get some solid results with all along the writing guidance and documentations. That's pretty much what we get for now. And we have a Mentimeter, so can help me.
You can start the Mentimeter, and
Yeah.
in the meantime, I can just entertain you. No. Are there any questions about the project that Yusheng described? If not, I can also provide a bit more context. So Yusheng presented this, but unfortunately, we don't have here in the room Vandro, who was coordinating this, and Eric from Canada, who I think initiated the collaboration. Basically, the idea is to involve more partners in the project so that it's not just coming from the Canadian partners, but from many buildingSMART members that together they prepare those IDS modules that show others how the asset operations and handover can be conducted. So do you have any questions? Please raise your hand and we'll just give you the mic. We also have some online audience, so they need to listen to us.
Okay, thank you. Franz Josef from ÖBB. I had a question, and could you please explain more? I don't really understand the purpose. So you just created, the outcome are IDS modules to check if the information needed for the handover is there, or so. Is it correct?
Yeah, the main deliverables are the IDS files, which are not just to check, but they are the specification. So this is the standard, how you specify what information you need for those phases. Many of those properties already exist in IFC, but in IFC we have a lot of properties, and now it's the question, okay, what is practically needed to perform operations? What is needed to manage assets? So now industry partners wanted to find other partners who are interested to collectively decide what are those properties and prepare those 3 modules and write the user guides. What's the best practice?
Okay, maybe I can share what we are doing in that case. So we derived the information requirements from the asset operation and asset management systems. So we looked at those systems, asked the people who do the operation and maintenance, and then has a set of properties. I don't know, a huge set, I don't know, 5,000 or so. Currently in BIMQ, but okay. And then we check the model against those properties.
And do you think those are good practices that others in other countries should follow as well?
At least, I guess it's the only way. So you have to ask the people who do the operation what they need, which information is relevant. And we say during design and construction phase, this is how we communicate the requirements to the clients, the companies. And that's what we are currently plan, or there's a project which looks good that it should work, that we then can extract the information from the model and put it almost automatically with some transformation into the asset management system.
Yes, so I only know bits and pieces about the project. We are presenting it on behalf of the partners who came up with the idea, but I think it's exactly what you described. It makes sense to join forces and define those properties. That's why Yusheng will share the QR code with the survey with a couple of questions regarding your interest in the project, what's your background, so that we know who is interested to be involved in it. Tarmo?
Ja, Tarmo Savolainen, Finnish Transport Infrastructure Agency. We are in FTIA. We are also thinking and how the project information is really dropping to the asset information system. Like Franz Josef said, we have actually we had a morning session here. I was saying that we have 5+ asset information systems in FTIA. Karin Andersson from Trafikverket said, congratulations, they have 40. And maybe I think the problem from project information to those asset management systems, that is very universal. Everybody would like to solve it. But I'm not sure, can we, in this project, can we do anything else than the framework, that this is how it should be solved? Because I think our and ÖBB's models are totally different. Even we are rail owners, but still a lot of, maybe the framework is the best we can do, and then maybe discuss the problems, maybe the best ways or something like that. I don't know. Somebody else? This is ping pong between us.
Well, that's how it works here. Like, I will not be doing the project. It will be you.
No, maybe, okay. I can also maybe share some of the problems we are facing, because the way we do is as I told you, we go to the systems, and there's a problem within our landscape of this. We have 115 different systems. Yeah, and things have the same name in different systems, but different meaning. And there is things have the same meaning, but different names. So the challenge was, or is still, it's still, yeah, it will never end to overwork the properties. But the problem was at the beginning to really, in the information requirements, to really consolidate and to put those things together which have really the same meaning, give them the same words. And this is, yeah, one of the problems we can solve. But I also agree that it's not possible that to define some properties we should all have. So it depends on the systems for asset management.
Another question. Have you, did you have time to fill out the survey in the meantime? Like, if not, could you please take your phones and scan the QR code and answer those few questions? If you're not interested in participating, you can also answer, I'm not interested. That will also be a valuable feedback.
Yeah, we will work through each question together, so you can have the live results at the moment. So.
Okay, so it's a live survey. Okay. Does the online audience also? Yeah. Okay. How many are we? Okay, I think we can go to the next one. So we have mainly other, but okay. Okay, so mainly infrastructure and buildings. Relatively many from the airport as well. Regulatory. Okay. You decide when is the good time. What OpenBeam standards and services are currently in use across your projects?
Now I get 21 answers. Most of were experienced with FC IDS. Yeah, PCF too. Let's move on. How familiar are you with IDS, Information Delivery Specification? Be confident to tap I'm an expert. Yeah, if you get any comments, you can use the comment button to give your comment here. Yeah. And what type of module requirements would you like to work on? Like, we get some basic ideas of equipment maintenance, space management, operations. But if you get any idea or aspect what we want to work on all those IDS modules. And I hope this maybe the last two. What do you hope to get out of this project? Anything? I think the minimal information requirement is exactly what we are aiming for, the common module, which could be shared in building and infrastructure. Ready to go? Yeah, basically it's our last question. Are you interested? If you are interested in the AOH project, next one will ask your leave a contact. Where if on your phone or on your screen you have the contact for those interested. Basically, this session is just to have a brainstorm how we dealing with AOH issues, and we're done. Any questions, discussions, comments?
Can people still add the contact details? Because
Yeah. Or stay on this page so they can add their contact.
I guess if you also have more detailed questions about the project in details, it's best to contact
Contact buildingSMART at buildingSMART.com. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess it will be forwarded to the people involved, because yeah, I'm not myself really involved in the project, but people who were so far couldn't join the meeting, so we are substituting a bit. But if you have any more questions, we can try to answer them now, or if you want to
reach out to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you're in a hurry, because
No, not at all.
yes, as you have seen, there are so many not sure yet, and I'm also not sure yet, because I don't know, maybe those companies who stood there can tell a bit more. I really don't know, understand the project already, I guess, because who is doing the project? We all together, I guess, but who is leading it or organizing it, or is it
buildingSMART International.
buildingSMART?
Yeah, it's a project in buildingSMART International. Like I don't want to mention, but like Kobe, we do have Kobe, but Kobe is one MVD. We can basically say it's almost one MVD fixed version, but it's can't be scalable and reusable in different countries. If you have something in Luxembourg, you have different things, requirements in Norway, even for different companies, we get different handover requirements. So actually, one thing fixed may not work for every project, even
really?
building or infrastructure.
Sure.
So starting with, I think it's Finnish, SQI, the Quebec government.
Tamo is providing data also. So you will have some great ideas, or some maybe can you explain a little bit more what you try to get out of this project?
I just know that we are thinking about this problematic, how to get project information to asset information, or asset information requirements as a project information requirements. And I know in Finland, every city is also thinking the similar things in Finland. So I think this is very, like I said, universal problem. This is your problem. This is probably every asset owner's problem. What we can do with this project, I'm not sure what we can do really. We can do maybe, like I said earlier, some kind of framework, because everybody's thinking about. But I think our data sets and your data sets and cities' data sets are totally different, because we have totally different legacy systems, world, and that kind of thing. So for your question, I have no idea what is coming from this one, but it looks very interesting, because it's the problem everybody should somehow solve, and we are trying to work it with Marion and people, and anyway, so it would be interesting to work maybe together in that and solve it maybe better. But anybody else? Trafikverket.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bobby Prince, Swedish Transport Administration, Trafikverket. So I can see that there's a point on doing this project if we are several agencies and so on that collaborate around what kind of properties is at stake in this handover phase, and maybe trying to categorize them and experiment around that. So that's my scope and understanding of the project right now. And we're currently looking into ideas, as many of you also do. And you realize that in order to work with ideas, you really have to have the requirement structured. And I mean, this is linked to the to the GS1 and the 23, 386 and 7, and what we have listened to these days. So I think this is really interesting and important, and the strength could be that there is several that come together around this question and try to use the standards and finding categorization of the properties and also maybe defining properties. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Charlie from Luxembourg, CRTB. I'm a bit surprised, but actually I suppose it's in the continuation of Kobe and so on, that buildingSMART International is leading that, but it's a good thing. At our national level, what we do is that we publish some use cases that can be reproduced by different stakeholders in the country, so Belgium and Luxembourg. And it's quite time-consuming to develop this use case. And so we have already like 16 use cases, but all of them are not fully complete. And we are doing, for the moment, collecting use case from public owners, trying to cross the same use case to take out of them the common requirement that could be a starting point for operation, for example, but other use case also during the construction and the design. And I think that from here, we are providing IDS file and EIR online for these different use cases. So that's part of our the way that we present any use case is you have a EIR online, requirement phase by phase, discipline by discipline, and split it by use case. And we provide IDS for each of them. But to take out from different companies, and especially I know that the railways company have always a very big set of properties. I don't know exactly, but it's always like this, so it's a need. And to take a common part of these different requirements seems to me quite a huge work. And what is the final purpose? Because it's so different. For the operation phase, the requirement from one company to another is very different quite often. We can take a common requirement sets from these things, but I'm not sure if you can reach something that is really reusable by other companies. That's my point of view. I don't have a lot of experience in operation phase, so it's just that I'm looking at different requirement sets, and that's what I see. And but it's really interesting, and I'm curious to see how you go forward with this project, because our requirement for the operation phase is really poor, so we need some inspiration, and probably we will follow what you're doing here to see if we can get something out of it. Thank you.
Yeah, one clarification. The idea doesn't come from buildingSMART International. We were approached by members from Quebec municipality, I believe,
yeah,
to ask if there is more interest in the community to do this type of project together, and we were asked to also like help with the operations part. But yes.
I just want to reply on what you said there. And is it really possible in our in this stage we are at right now to compare the different properties and requirements? I mean, by standardizing these areas, then we can compare and probably see that, okay, this is similar, but at this, as I understand where we are now, the organizations isn't standardized, and as the other speaker told us that there's hundreds of different properties that have the same name but has different meanings and so on. So yeah, I think we should use the standards in order to be able to compare and find what's similar.
Yeah. The use of standard of IDS is the whole point. We don't want to create one version of common parts for everyone, every country, every use case. The idea is to just demonstrate how this kind of modular approach, extendable approach, could be implemented in your country, in your company, or in your owners. So, yeah, the guideline part and the best practice part is also part of the project. So inspire people, and if you want to take the similar approach in your organization, yeah, you have the examples.
I have a couple of questions from different angle to know what is AOH. What is the difference between COBE and the common IDS you are mentioning? I think COBE, it has kind of information requirement.
Yeah.
So what is different between AOH information requirement and existing COBE's information requirement?
Yeah, COBE existing, but from what I'm understanding, COBE started in 2006, so it's already been like 20 years. And COBE it's an Excel like tablet format of properties. The most of COBE information is, you can say it's part of the MVD. It's a model view definition behind COBE. But COBE is not just, most of them are coming from IFC properties, IFC entities, properties, but they do have some part which is not directly coming from IFC. So you can use COBE, but the COBE problem is it's one fixed MVD. But if you get different, how we find this one common thing all over the globe, is it okay for Japan? If may suitable for Japan, it may need adaptation for other countries. So considering to find one standard version of requirements, we're thinking about maybe we can use IDS. We cut it in different modules. If you want to create one thing, one requirement module of your country in your company, you can take it just for you. We can have different adaptation for different location.
Okay, so if I understand in the right way, as the new AOH IDS modules are kind of a subset of COBE's content or something. Is it right, or?
I don't know. COBE actually is not under buildingSMART IP. So if you look at the COBE sheet, it's basically a table of properties. We get the it's saying IFC is coming from buildingSMART, but COBE is coming from NIBS, I suppose. Can do. Yeah, I'm not expert at COBE, but COBE, for me, from my understanding, is a Excel version, a table version of property.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I try my best. But if you get still a related question, you can just contact us from technical@buildingsmart.org.
Maybe more of a comment or maybe a question, I'm not sure. I work for Schiphol Airport, so I'm a client, and we are experiencing issues with handover, very common, but we do require IFC files to be delivered. We also have a very clear set of information requirements throughout the whole life cycle, but our challenge is that not all of the asset requirements are in the IFC file, so what do you check when you are doing the checks that eventually lead to handover? So we have a lot of discussions with Hans, my colleague. Should we create an IDS per, we call it a data drop, but per phase of the project? What do you check? And then once you get to handover, so when the project is being handed over to the client, we can create an IDS, but again, you are not checking all of the asset requirements. So we did create an IDS where the requirements are in the IDS file based on our ontology, based on our requirements, but it's very hard for us to tell our people that are delivering the IFC file to cover all of that in the IFC file. It's impossible. We can't do that. So I think that's our biggest challenge, and the people and process part. So who is doing the checks? Who is making sure that the content of the IFC files and the other information is correct in order to be able to enhance your data quality throughout the asset lifecycle. I think that's the struggle that we are experiencing from a client perspective. Yeah. So there's no question, I think. I think it's more of a comment that I'm experiencing. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, maybe the question is the scope of this project only for the properties, the data, or is it also for the documents and the geometry?
Yeah, documentation and guideline is part of the scope of this project.
Okay, yeah, that's a kind of pity, I think, because in the handover, it's an important, let's say, triangle of information.
To clarify, I think just documentation of the process of doing the ideas. We are not discussing how to document the asset handover. No, that's out of scope. I believe it was on the slide. Yeah. But to answer the not question from Mariska, I think it's, do you mean the parts that are not being modeled at all, like the information that is not in the model, or the information that is in the model but is not possible to check with IDS?
What Hans is referring to is we also require documents to be delivered. And those documents are not part of the IFC file. We can check them, but then you have to somehow either use linked data and add the document UUID in your IFC file, and then you can just check whether the document UUID is covered. It still is not doing a check whether the documents are being delivered. And then we also have just generic properties that are basically applicable for all of our assets, but we also have very specific properties, and there's a lot of discussion with all of our stakeholders whether all of those properties should be in the IFC file or even in your BIM model. They still want to deliver them through just we call it an asset list, so just I hate to say it, Excel list. I'm not a fan, but they claim it's too much work to put all of it in the BIM model.
Maybe before I answer you, continue further discussion, I just want to add a little bit background detail. Nick from buildingSMART UK and regulatory domain got the same question. So how are we dealing with those information not in the IFC model, not in the IFC file? Honestly, we don't have the answer. We invite all you guys all you people joining us to, let's say if you could figure out, we could figure out some ideas future. So we want some feedback and some ideas input. Yeah, go ahead, just follow.
Any other questions? We should wrap up the session in a minute. Any questions? Okay, then, if you're interested, please contact Yusheng maybe?
Yeah.
And we can take it from there. So thank you, Yusheng.
Thank you.